So you guys are interested in me pulling back the curtain on my office?
Yeah.
Would you like to see that?
Say again?
My office, about my office, my systems in my office. Okay, I'm teaching you systems here in the whole boot camp, but it's all about private money until this, and this is systems on how I run my business. The reason I got room service up there is I want to make a point. Every time I come to your RIAs, if I'm doing a Saturday workshop, I don't want to go downstairs and get breakfast because it eats up time. And so I order room service. And so what will happen is on the room service they come up to my room and they'll deliver the tray, and I can continue to get ready and I eat my breakfast, and then I head right down to the room. I'm not killing my time going up and down and, do I wear my suit downstairs or blue jeans and then come back and change and all that kind of stuff. So I can just get in a room. What happens though is I'll get my tray and I'll typically order the same thing. I'll order Cheerios with Splenda. I'll order fruit cup, and I'll order whole wheat toast dry and water. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
What happens, and I'll repeat Splenda a couple times so I make sure they get it down. What they'll do is they'll bring me the tray and they'll forget the Splenda, and what will happen is for the Cheerios, sometimes they'll bring me a little cardboard carton of milk, right? Low-fat milk or whatever. Sometimes they'll show it in a pitcher.
Right.
All right? Sometimes they have it in a glass with cellophane across the top so it doesn't spill out.
Yeah.
Yes? And sometimes that all is from the same hotel on different days.
Right.
Because on a boot camp I'm there 4 or 5 days, okay? So what happens is sometimes for the Cheerios they'll bring me a small spoon. Sometimes they'll bring me a big spoon. All right? Which is right? Same hotel, different day. Which is right? Same with the milk. Which is right? Is there a different cost between the carton and the tumbler and the pitcher?
Shouldn't be.
But there is. Because they don't have to wash the carton.
Sure. Right.
Okay? Sometimes they will forget the toast. Or they'll burn it. And so what I do is I call back to the kitchen. I tell them that I got no toast. They will have somebody paddle up the stairs or come up the elevator and bring me toast, okay? Is there a cost to the hotel that does that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay? I want you to think about this. We're in a Marriott. If I order meals here, I will find out that 30% of my meals are wrong. Really high, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how many rooms do you think this Marriott has?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. 750. Yeah. Yeah. Bunch. Well, let's say 30% of the folks are ordering breakfast. That's just one meal, and 30% of that 30% is wrong. And there's a cost to the hotel. One in customer satisfaction, and the other one is on physical cost because people have to run up and down the stairs, yes?
Yes.
How many Sheratons are in this state? Or Marriotts are in this state?
A few.
A bunch. Okay? So they got the same problem going on. How many are Marriotts are across the United States? Thousands. Or how about the world?
Probably 5,000.
Okay, I want you to start thinking about cost here, okay? Bottom line, folks, right? Cost, okay? It's no different if I stay here or if I stay at the Sheraton across the street, or the Holiday Inn down the street, or the Hyatt or the Hilton. They all nuts up my breakfast. And I know it's not personal, okay? They just nuts it up. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Okay? So there's a cost in customer satisfaction. There's a cost in that. The thing I want to tell you is the same thing's going on in your company. And that's kind of ugly to think about. But while you're here, or whether you're here at home, the same stuff is going on in your company. Okay? All right? So how do you fix that? How do you fix that? You got to have systems in your company. You got to have systems implemented to remove chaos. Small businesses experience chaos. So every one of you, if you haven't put systems into your company, you have chaos. Everybody on the same page? The kitchens, and the reason I bring up that example, should have a system like a checklist in their kitchen to when I call down, they check, they take that, and that's what that person puts on my tray, and then they double check it, and then they bring it to the room. The 30% would drop to nothing, okay, or next to nothing. Everybody got it?
Yes.
All right? Most entrepreneurs, which is you, are so busy growing your business that you don't take time to create systems, and lack of systems erode your profit base. Chaos is inherent in all small businesses, okay? In the first 5 years, 90% of all new businesses go out of business, and it's important that you understand the following training so you can avoid that. Let's talk about you. You got a multitude of things to take care of, such as finding new lenders, selling property, locating home buyers, purchasing new property, orchestrating contractors, rehab, advertising, renters, payroll, utilities, and insurance, paying mortgages, interest payments, keeping lenders happy, collecting rent, office bills, paperwork, and more paperwork, and a whole lot more. Yes or yes? You're tired already, yes?
Yes.
Now, as I went through that, I'm just talking about breakfast. Now, what's going on in your life, right? You want to know what happens in your life? Here's what you do. You go to a closing like we were talking about a little bit ago, and then you go out to the property to put the lockbox on the door because you just bought it, yes? All right, and you go out there and you put the lockbox on there, you walk through it, maybe put some material inside of it or whatever, and you go back to the car to get your signs out so that you can put them in the yard. Right? Your house for sale. You forgot to put the signs in your trunk.
Oh.
Did that happen? Some of you are laughing because it's happened to you, right? And smiling. That's cost. Then what you got to do is you got to go back to the home or to the office, and you got to pick up your signs, and now you got to waste your time going back there where you could have done it right the first time if you'd had a checklist to put the signs in the trunk. Yes? That's what I want to show you on this. All these items on the previous page can create chaos in your own real estate business, many times because you haven't taken the time to create systems. You see, other real estate investors don't talk about this because it's the ugly side of the business. The other real estate trainers want to talk about the sexy thing, like getting the big checks. How to buy property, how to sell property, how to get those big checks, okay? This, what I'm getting ready to teach you, nobody else is teaching. So pay attention, take some notes. Nobody else is teaching this, and it is something that is so critical to your success. In fact, your business needs this as much as you need oxygen. And when I get through with this, you'll understand why I just said that. I want you to think about this. This is very important to your success. My goal is to show you how to transform your real estate business so it runs better by removing chaos from your business. What I noticed about my real estate business over the past 20 years as I grew the business, I created more work for myself and I couldn't see any end in sight. I knew I could make good money in real estate, but I clearly didn't know how to do it without killing myself. I knew I had to make some changes or I was simply going to burn out. The problem is, as the business started to grow, I began to feel the stress of additional work. And I'll bet there's people in this room that feel the same way. Running after different deals, massive paperwork, phone calls. I even gave up golf to free up time. I didn't want to give up golf. I didn't want to give up golf, but even that didn't help. I didn't get into real estate to give up the things I enjoyed. It shouldn't be just the opposite.
Right.
Shouldn't I be playing golf more and not stop and playing it? All because I needed more time to grow my business? In other words, with every small improvement to your bottom line, there comes a mountain of new paperwork and phone calls and emails and meetings and more. I began an intensive study of some of the world's most successful business people, and this is what set me apart from other real estate investors out there, what I'm getting ready to share with you, what I did. I attended more than a dozen high-priced conferences and boot camps. I enrolled in an exclusive $10,000 a year business coaching program led by Michael Gerber. How many folks have read E-Myth Revisited? Okay. In the back of the book, if those of you that haven't read it, you ought to get it. E-Myth Revisited, and the reason you ought to get it is because it's so powerful. You'll key on exactly the importance of systems. Go ahead.
You read the one for real estate?
Yeah, they
Business?
Oh, the one by my friend Than. Yeah, Than spoke for me. I spoke for him. Yeah, I haven't read it because I was way through E-Myth way before that. Okay, Dan Merrill. Yeah, and so what happened is I joined his program at $10,000 a year because I wanted to streamline my business, and I might have it up here on a slide, but let me tell you why I did this. When I was in corporate America, I got put on different tasks. The task in 3 different Fortune 100 or Fortune 500 companies that I was with, the tasks were to go implement systems. And I got put on 5 different systems within the company. And what happened is, coming out the other side of those systems, I saw a streamlined business, a different business. In fact, in one of the businesses, on one of the programs that I recommended, a multi-million-dollar program that they implemented, within the first year, we had tripled the cash flow and doubled the pre-tax earnings. Everybody got it? Morph that over now, I got my real estate business. In my real estate business, I look back at my corporate America experience and I realized that I needed to put systems in my business just like corporate America did on those 5 programs. I needed some help doing it though. So I hired eMyth, I hired them to coach me. It was $10,000 for 1 year, I was in it for 5. So I spent $50,000 on my education to streamline my business, and when I came out the other side, I had a streamlined business. This was before I was a teacher. Everybody got it? What happened is, as I became a teacher, I realized that there was a vacuum in our industry for people teaching this. But I didn't start teaching it right away. I was focused on private money. I was teaching that. And what happened was I realized that when I go out and I speak at different places, I get asked questions not only on private money, but I also got questions about systems. Well, how should I do this? How should I do this? They're asking about that. They don't know that they're asking about a system, but they're asking about a system to fix something. All down at the lower level, if you will. What I did with my company is I fixed the systems in the whole broad-based company, front, top to bottom. Everybody got it? All right. So that's where I saw need in our business. I decided I'm going to do just what I'm doing right here. I'm going to teach this because there's 2 reasons businesses go out of business. Yes, in the first 5 years, and we talked about that. This is one of them. Lack of systems. I saw there's a critical need of systems in my real estate business to make my life better. And here's what Michael Gerber said. Now what do you do? Now that the fire's burning, now that you want to get started, now that you want to turn your business into a little money machine, a turnkey operation, small business owners must take the first step. You must step back from your business as it is today and decide what it must look like when you finally got it just the way you want it. And then determine the gap between where you are and where you need to be in order to make your dream a reality. That gap will tell you exactly what needs to be done to create the business of your dreams. And what you'll discover when you look at your business is that gap is always created by the absence of systems. The absence of a proprietary way of doing business that successfully differentiates your business from everybody else's. Remember, when you hear something, you forget it. When you see something, you remember it. But it's not until you actually do something will you understand it. Yeah. Michael Gerber. Your goal should be to work on your business, not in your business. And I'll bet every one of you are working in your business rather than on. What's on? On would be creating checklists in your business. On would be creating policies and procedures. On would be creating special reports, key reports. That's working on your business. But what typically a real estate investor is doing is they're working so hard to learn and so hard to grow their business that they don't even think about that. They learn about certain things, but then they don't take the time to put together a checklist to help themselves. I'm going to show you a checklist up here that's going to blow you away on the number of steps to do something that you do every time you buy a property. It's this very simple principle that allowed Ray Kroc to duplicate his success at one McDonald's hamburger stand and created a multi-billion-dollar franchise within stores spanning the globe. I spent 5 years and $114,730 to merge an amazing, efficient business system. Now, part of that is the eMyth. So the other part is doing events, sitting in the chair you're in at events like this, real estate events. Early on in my real estate career, I just flew by the seat of my pants. Some of you feel like you're doing that today. Huh? Making things up as I went along, and however, one of the key insights I learned from Michael Gerber was the importance of creating systems for everything in your business, a way of doing things that you follow almost to the letter, almost without exception. I spent a couple days with Michael. I was out at Laguna Niguel in California. We were on a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. My chair, like that wall was all glass, and I was looking onto the Pacific Ocean. He sat on a chair like I have right here in the middle of the room. There's about 21 of us entrepreneurs in a semicircle around him, and he talked for 2 days without any notes. And he's just amazing. It was a heck of an experience. And so I was very fortunate to be in the room with him. He's a great mind, and I was part of his coaching program, and it was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. You see, the hassle I'd once taken for granted were dramatically reduced, and I found myself working fewer hours and spending more time with my family. I literally created a system and a checklist to follow for every single key aspect of my business, from filing paperwork to making big deals. So what's it done for me? I show up for an hour on Monday and 15 minutes on Wednesday, and a few cell phones a week. How many folks like to run their business like that?
That'd be great.
That's what systems can do for you. Imagine how many more deals you could do, how much more money you'd make if you could free up an extra 10 or 12 hours a week. Just think about that. Today I got more time available to me because I removed the chaos from my business, and you can do the same by just learning a few simple things that I've done. It's not about hiring employees. Don't get hung up on that, because that can make things worse, and here's why. If you haven't taken the time to put a system into your company, the employee is going to come in and make up their own system because there's a vacuum. And they got to get a job done, so they're going to get it done their way. And many times you'll find that it's a system you wish you didn't have. Okay? They can make things worse for you. How do I know that? Early on before I had this, I had that problem too. So don't think it's about this. You need to have a system that they can walk in and plug into, so you get things replicated the same way time after time after time. Taking that approach can create additional problems. It goes deeper. You need systems, you need structure, you need organization, you need a business plan, you need a vision to replicate everything you want done in your business. Hear that? To replicate everything you want done in your business. Small businesses can remove chaos. As a company grows, these systems are critical so that employees can mimic the owner and not create their own system. System implementation removes chaos. Now, I've used this word chaos like 25 times already. Let's talk about it for just a second. What is chaos? I want you to think of it this way. When I say the word chaos, your check got smaller. Everybody got it? If you went out to the place to put the signs up, and it doesn't seem that much, but it takes your time away of going out and looking for lenders and going out looking for property. It eats up your time because you had to paddle your butt back to put the signs up. Yes? Everybody got it? All right. Makes your check smaller. You might be driven to live real estate 24/7, but there's going to come a day when you want some freedom from that day-to-day operation. And in order to get that, in order to be unshackled from your business, you're going to have systems that other people can run. Now, I know some of you never want to have employees, and that's cool. Whether you have employees or not, what I'm teaching you goes for you too. You need to have systems, because what will happen to you is maybe you don't do something for 4 months or 6 months or whatever in your company, and you forgot exactly how you did it away. And there's always one best way. Okay? And you don't want to miss things, because when you miss things, if you go through a checklist and you miss one step, you create a chaos in your business. Everybody got it? So, how many folks have checklists in here? Okay? How many have 5? The ones that just raised their hand. Okay, we went from about 7 to 2. Okay? How many have 10? All right. Got 1. Okay? Over where? Who else? Everybody got it? Back there? Okay? All right. So what about you? What's your situation? Is your real estate business running you ragged? Are you overwhelmed by phone calls, buried in paperwork, constantly running to meetings and touring in too many directions? Are you starting to burn out? A lot of you folks are brand new. You haven't burned out yet. But it's coming if you don't have systems. Imagine how much more relaxed you'd feel, and how you could radically reduce the number of meetings and phone calls you have to participate in, and how about an opportunity to spend less time working and more time with your family and friends and doing other things that you love. In short, imagine yourself in control of your real estate business with things running smoothly and profitably, even if you're going for weeks or months at a time. Some of you can't imagine that. But imagine if you've got systems in there. And how many, did I ask this, how many folks are going to have employees in the next 5 years? Let me see a show of hands. I would about, they're going to fight over it up here. So, but what happens is this, is if you don't have employees, that's fine, but if you don't have systems, it's tragic. Whether you're a one-person show or whether you got 10 employees, okay? Either way. Imagine how great you'd feel and how much more you get done and how much fun you'd have. Thereby freeing you up from the headaches and aggravation that hold you down like a ball and chain. A lot of real estate investor questions that I run into center around this running a real estate business as opposed to private money. I get a lot of those questions, but I also get questions on this. I have a passion for this topic. When I was in corporate America, I put in 5 multi-million, multi-plant projects, okay? And they all worked. And I saw what needed was solid training on how to do it. Then I come out, I joined eMyth, I got solid training, and what I'm doing right now is I'm starting with you on what happens and why you ought to look at systems in your business. If you don't, things aren't going to change for you. Okay, it's going to run you ragged. Systems are key to your success. What I've seen is this. Most of all, I've seen an incredible need for all real estate investors to get this information because you aren't getting it from anybody else. You see, what I've done is I've taken what eMyth did, which they're for all small businesses, and I made it a laser beam approach for real estate. And that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some of my systems up here. Here's my agenda. I'm going to talk about when I got started. I'm going to talk about the decisions I made along the way. Talk about office management, how to buy, how to fix, and how to sell. And I'll show you little systems that I created on this. I think some of them you're really going to like, okay? And the systems I'm going to show you, some of them you can take them home and have them this week in your business. Does that work for you? All right. I bought my first property July 7, 1995. Once you get past the first one, they all get easier after that. And before you get your first purchase, try to get a good education, because it's a foundation. I began a business as a DBA, doing business as. It was BMW Properties. You think it's a car?
Yeah.
It's Brittany, Mark, and Wendy, my kids, their initials. Okay. I chose to become a C corporation because I wanted to retain earnings within the company. It started out with just me for a long period of time, and then finally, I decided I wanted somebody to field the phone calls for like the gas company where they keep you on the phone and you listen to music all the time. And for an hour and a half until they answer, whatever, an hour. And somebody to do filing. I wasn't crazy about filing, so I hired somebody in part-time, and that's the way I got started. And then I hired somebody to sell properties for me. Okay? So I got that off me, because when somebody calls up, like a tenant, you tell them the same thing about the property, and then you got 20 tenants that gives you a call, potential tenants, and you tell all 20 of them the same thing over and over and over again, right? I wanted that off of me. And then I hired a liaison. Now, normally people don't have that, but what happened is I did rent to own on my property, and I wanted the mortgage brokers to come in and get these places sold as quick as I could. Well, they were so busy with stuff on their desk, they didn't have time to babysit my tenant buyer, right? And so what happened was, I looked to my office to help get these people cashed out. Well, my office was so busy, they didn't have time to do that either. So I hired a person to act like a ping pong ball between the tenant buyer and between my office to get these people cashed out, and it worked. She got $1,000 every time she sold a house, okay? And so I had trouble with the first one, and so I just went on in and married her. And then I had to go get another one, okay? Because she didn't want to do it anymore. And then I hired the buyer. Now, you don't think that you can hire that position. You think you've got it all. But if you have systems, you can. Remember I said that I hired somebody and he got 23 properties for me in 3 months? How do you think he did that if he didn't have systems? He did have systems, right? Might go dead?
It did.
Yep, sure did. Sure did. My management decisions. Let's talk about that for just a second.
It's back.
Now it's back?
Yeah, it's working now.
Wow, okay. Here's what I focused on. Business development, policies and procedures. How many folks in here have 87 policy and procedures? 87 policies and procedures. Everybody got it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Checklist. How many folks have 19 checklists? With you, man. 19 checklists. And how many about key reports? You know, I'm sure you got some. These are your chaos elimination tools. And that's the start, the backbone of your system. Policies and procedures. I created 128 policies and procedures for my real estate company. Policies are clear and undeniable in case of employee difficulties. I created 19 checklists to run the business. Here's one of my systems. I said, if you guys got rentals, here's what I do for my rentals. I said, some of you can implement these this week. What I do is I invoice the tenants on the 20th of the month. Why? Because I tested it. Shouldn't you do that with systems?
Yes. Okay.
I found out if I sent it out 18th, they'd lose the invoice. If I sent it out on the 24th, it seemed to be too late for them. But if I did it on the 20th, it was a sweet spot. The rents come in through the mail, a drop box in the office, or left in locked box. They drop it off by the office or a locked box. And then we post it on the whiteboard. I showed you a little bit of that. I'll show you that board again here in a minute. Rent's due on the 1st, late on the 2nd. I post on the 3rd. Everybody hear that?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If you have in your rental agreement 5-day grace period, or 7-day, or 10, or whatever, take it out. They know for months when the rent's due. Due on the 1st, yes or yes?
Yes.
Why do they need a pad? All that does is hold up your revenue stream and delays it, and the longer you don't get the check, the less likely you are going to get the check. Take it out. So my rent's due on the 1st, late on the 2nd, I post on the 3rd, and we give them a 3-day notice in our area. Okay? They got to be out in 3 days or pay. Or if they don't do that, then we start the eviction process. And we are quick on that because we never know when we're going to get the money. Everybody hear that?
Yes.
Some of you ought to be taking notes. Take out the pad. Take out the pad in your rental agreement, okay?
Yeah.
On the whiteboard, we mark the payments as they come in, so at the end of the month, we got a quick reference. So we got a visual tool that lets us know if you got one property, you don't need this. If you got a bunch of properties, then a visual tool is really handy. We don't need to bring up files on the computer or sift through files on the desk. It's right there on the wall. There it is. What we got is a red pen and a green pen. Green means they paid. Red means they didn't pay, and then we start a line across here. Look at all the steps we got to go through for eviction. Now, we moved up to where we got magnets around magnets, which is what you saw earlier today. And those magnets are red and green. Same thing, okay? Yeah, so then we don't have to erase that board. Just take the magnets on or off. Let's go to some office management system. For some people really enjoy my filing system. Here's what when I started out, I had one plastic file box for everything. I had one property. But as I grew, I moved into this. I have a tenant file, and in my tenant file, I have the hanging folders yellow. Why yellow? So if I walk through the office, I can spot a tenant folder being out, and they shouldn't be out very long. And so if you have all your folders blue, you aren't going to know which one's tenant without going through them. And so I make them yellow. They stand out. Now the other ones are blue until I get to number 5 up there. The property file, I got legal size folders or file cabinets on that. And then insurance file, the thing about that we do is Donna created a spreadsheet for every property. And you know that long number that they give you on the insurance? All right, we have a cross-reference, and we cross-reference both ways, one by property address and the other by that long number. So what happens is, if we sell a property and 6 months later, or 6 weeks later, we get a check for that, they won't tell us the address. They put that long number on there. If you don't have a cross-reference file, you can't hardly find that thing. Okay, if you got a lot of properties. But all she has to do is just go right down there in number order, and there it is, and it will know it goes into 123 Main Street, and we're done, and we're good to go. We put that right in the front of the insurance file. And then expenses, well, you got expenses by property. You try to drive everything by property. And we have a manila folder in there, and we stuff the expenses in there for the property. We also have another one, which is general expenses, like my car. my cell phone, okay? Lights for the office and things like that. So we have another file that we file all those in. We let the accountant worry about where they put that. And so we'll have manila folders there also. Hanging blue folders, manila folder inside, all right? The tenant file is in the property file are in order by the street address. Like 123 Main Street is before 5000 Abernathy or whatever the name of the street is. And then number 5, private lender files, red, like this carpet, this dot in this carpet you see here, bright red. Why? Same reason the tenant file is yellow. As I walk through the office, I want to see if that thing's laying out, and it shouldn't be. All right? So I make those red. We have a manila folder inside there. And this is another thing. On these manila folders I'm talking about, inside these files, where do you put the information? Well, if you leave it up to your employees, it'll be all over the manila file or forgotten. Where I put mine is top left-hand corner. Can I see your tablet for just a minute? Just fine. Here's the deal. If this is a manila folder, I put the address up here. Everybody got it? Why? If I give it to an employee, where's it going to be?
Who knows?
Whatever their system is, okay? I put it right here. That way, when I go through the file cabinets, boom, 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 I can walk right down and I can see where that is, what property, what tenant it is, because the tenant name will be on the tenant files. It makes it very, very easy for me, and it's been a nice system. So I take a black felt pen and use that. Here's how I hire. How many folks in here would like to interview 19 people in an hour? Nobody raised their hand. You don't want to know? I can skip this.
No, let's do it.
How many people want to have employees in 5 years? Yeah, I asked you that. Okay, about 40% of the room. All right, here's the deal. I'm going to give you a system where you can interview 19 people in an hour and save you a ton. So get your life back if you're trying to hire somebody, okay? Here's the deal. You run an ad and put your email, run an ad in Craigslist, put your email in there, and have them email it back to you. Okay, if you got a fax machine, you can use that, still have one. We still fax a lot, but emails, you can put it in there. And they send resume in 2 groups, okay? I run an ad that says local growing real estate company seeks administrative assistant, no experience necessary, will train. Microsoft Word is required, QuickBooks Pro is a plus. Send your resume in to da-da-da-da-da. Good? Resumes come in, 2 groups, A and B, B's and trash. A, we call everybody in at once. Okay? Now, what happens is we have them all come in at the same time. Let's say it's 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night. What happens is I have chairs like you're in, no table, and they're all sitting looking at me just like you are right now. Only they're more scrunched together than you, okay? When they walk in the door, we will have a sign-in sheet, and we will hand them a newspaper article about me for them to read up. You'll always get somebody that shows up about 25 minutes early. Happens every single time. I'll get up in front of them and I'll say, hi, my name is Alan Cowgill. I'm the president of the company. I'm tickled that you're here today. What I'm going to do is tell you everything about the job because there's a bunch of you and one of me, and I only have to say it one time. And when I get done, I'll talk to each one of you individually, and I hope you all stay. The hope you all stay is important. I have to say it 3 times to make sure I don't have a lot of attrition. Everybody got it? Okay? Because they think it's a multi-level marketing maybe when they hit the door or different ideas, and it's not. I'm just looking to hire somebody. And so I say, there's your desk, there's the fax machine, there's the copy machine, there's the lights are back there, the restroom's back there. We pay for 401k, you get 2 weeks vacation after a year. Here's the pay range. I give them a range, not an exact amount. And so what I do is I walk through everything about their job, everything about the benefits that we got, and then I say, you were here first. Would you like to stay?
Sure.
Okay, they always say that. Okay, so I was pretty safe. She was going to say it. Okay, so they all say that. You don't have to get up, but here's what I do. I say, I'm going to sit down up here, and I'd like to have you pull your chair up. And now the rest of you, I hope you all stay. Okay, now I've only said it twice to you, but I say it 3 times in the talk. I hope you all stay, but I have to have a private conversation with her, just like I'm going to have one with each one of you. So I need to have you go out in the hall and then arm wrestle on who wants to come in next. It's exactly what I say. They laugh better than you, though. I mean, you know, but they, so they go out in the hall, and what happens is I'll have her bring her chair up, and I'll have her resume set in here. Remember I had the resume sent in? And I'll ask her 3 questions. I say, what did you hear that you liked? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your skill with Microsoft Word? She'll say, oh, I'm pretty good. I'll say, no. 1 to 10, you got it. They don't. Scale of 1 to 10, where you at? Give me a number. Oh, I'm good. No, pick a number. Scale of 1 to 10, where you at? And they'll say, oh, I'm an 8. Okay? And so what they don't know is I'm going to test them. And the testing, when they come back, if they're successful to get in for the second interview, and if I like them in the second interview, I use a program called ProveIt.com. It's an online testing program. And you can test people for a myriad of different software systems, like QuickBooks Pro and all kinds of stuff. It's cool, okay? ProveIt.com. If you want to test somebody, you can start this week with it. Go out there and sign up. The last question I ask them is, why are you looking for a job? And you'll get a lot of different questions like that. And then the final thing, I say, do you have any questions for me? And some will ask and some won't. And then I say, all right, we're good. We'll let you know one way or the other. Just have the next person come in. Now, while she's walking out the door, I'm writing A, B, C on the resume. A, she's coming back. B, if the A's wash out, I'll call the B's back. Okay, C's are never going to make it. And then I'll put something down that would distinguish her, okay, like nice purple top, okay, something like that, so that I can mentally remember, after I interviewed 19 folks, I need some trigger, okay? And I'll write down pluses and minuses real quick. And then you're coming in next, okay? So you won the arm wrestling competition, so you're coming in next. And so I'll run through the same thing with him. Everybody got it? All right? Then we call them back for the long interview. You both make it. Everybody else washed out, they make it. And so we come in for the long interview. On the long interview, those could last 30 minutes to an hour. And if I like both of them, I will test them both on Prove It. On Prove It, if she comes back at 82%, I'll get a percentage, okay? And let's say he said he was a 9, and he comes back at 89%, they both know where they're at. Everybody got it? They both know where they're at, because 9 and 89 right together, okay, 90 percentile, all right? She's in there at 80%, so they both know their skill levels. What I've had happen to me, though, is somebody will give me an 8 or a 9, and they come in at 20%.
Oh, that's good.
Now, wouldn't you rather know that
Yes.
before you accept them as an employee? That's the importance of Prove It, okay? And it's solved a lot of pain, a lot of problems for me on one side. And the other side is it gave me a lot of successes, too. Because just like them, they had good scores. New employees report in at 10 o'clock. Many of you, if you got an office, you would have the new employee come in at 8. But I got people in there working. I don't want them to nuts up my employees and slow them down, because a new hire will slow down your employees because they got to get trained, yes? I'll have them come in at 10 o'clock. You're going to love this. I'll have them sit down at a chair, Donna will, sit down at a chair with a computer, and she will have booted up this program I created, well, a Microsoft PowerPoint program that runs automatically for 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. She'll hit the enter button, and 85 slides will show up with timed out so they can read each one of them. It tells them everything I want them to know on day one about their job. Now, don't you think every company in the world ought to be doing that? Yes? Mm-hmm. So it's actually a video. I mean, the way it's set up. I mean, she hits a button and the thing just, gives them so much per slide, and then they go through 85 slides. Tells them about the company, where you want to park the car, what the dress code is, what the benefits is, all the key information. Information that you might be too shy to tell them. Like, don't play music in the office. Don't, because somebody might not like it, or don't bring food in the office. I got that from my sister who worked there, and she left chicken in all over the weekend. Things, you don't have personal friends coming in, hanging out, different things like that. So it's got stuff you might be too shy. But once you get done with it, they've seen it, it's impersonal, it's part of the company policy, and they got it. And good things too, tell them, you know, some good things in there about the company. And then I sit down and I print these out, 6 on a page, and then I sit down with them within 24 hours and we go through it. Make sense? How many folks like this system on hiring?
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff, isn't it?
Yep.
And it's a lot, you know, if you were going to interview 19 people, you'd start over here with her for 30 minutes, and then you take a 15-minute break, and then we go to her, and then you got a 15-minute break, and then you go to him, and you got a 15-minute break, yes? And then I go to her, and I got a 15-minute break, and then she comes in for 30 minutes, and he don't show up. What happens?
Messed up.
Messed up. Now I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting for the next person, right? Don't have time to go look at a property or, you know, right? Everybody got it? If I do 19 at once, everybody hears the same thing all at once. In and out, less than an hour. They get a handbook. I got an employee handbook. Just like corporate America, just like all the big companies. Do you think the employees would like to have a handbook if they work for you? 40% in here that want employees? Every single one of them deserves a handbook. Every single one of them. And they get an office tour. You know, here's this, here's that. In the handbook, how do you clock in and out? I got a time card deal. Company phone numbers, dress code, vacation time, sick days, rules when you're going to be late. Donna and Gary are going to give me an expense account when they get home on what they spent on this trip, okay? And where do they get that expense report? It's on the form CD in the employee handbook. New employee presentation, PowerPoint presentation I created to introduce new hires to our business, takes about 15 to 20 minutes. I teach them how to answer the phone. Why is that important? Well, because I'd hire people in and the phone would ring and they pick it up and they go, huh? Or, hey man. What the heck? So I told them, here's how I want you to answer the phone. Good morning, Integrity Home Buyers. Here's Mike. This is Mike. How may I help you? Friendly and professional. And we practice this. We practice this. Remember on the 6 on the slide, the next day, within 24 hours? What happens is we practice that slide because they screw it up every time. Now, I might be nervous because they're sitting there across from me, but they nuts it up. But they do know by the time we're done, because we practice till they get it right, that, you know, it might take three tries. When they get done with it, then what happens is they're always going to answer the phone the same way. And if I call in and they don't, I remind them. Let's go to the buying system. You'd like to buy 5 to 7 houses a month? No marketing cost? Yes? I'm going to go through this fast. Here it is. I found a realtor that had just got his license. And somebody that would follow directions, somebody I liked. I gave him my target property criteria, which is 3-bedroom home, or a 2-bedroom with a dining room and a living room, and in my area I can put in for $500 I can put in a closet and a door and I got another bedroom. So I make the 2-bedroom 3. And we go out 3 hours on Friday. I get in the car, he's driving, I get in the car at 1:30 in the afternoon because all the workload dies down on a Friday, and I go to 4:30 and we look to 6 to 10 properties. On those properties I go through with a worksheet and I have set dollar amounts for different parts of the property. For an example, in this room here, if this was a 1,200 square foot ranch house, I'd go through it, and if I want to put in the receptacles and the switches and new lights, $750. If I want to add a box, $850. If I want both, we just add those two together. So I got 4 numbers for electrical, yes? First one's 0, and then the 3 that I just gave you, yes? I can go through a house in 10 minutes and have the rehab cost done because I got plug numbers for everything. All right. I do mail, which is maximum allowable offer. And on that, what happens is I, between house 1 and house 2, I tell them, I figure out mail and I tell them how much I'll offer on the house. Okay, I got a formula for that. Submit the offer and 99 get rejected. And you think, well, Alan, that's dumb. Why'd you take us through this if I get rejected? Well, it gets better. What happens is I resubmit the offers on the 20th of every month. So in the first month, I've made 24 offers if I'm doing 6 a week. Everybody got it? And then in the next month, I do 6, and then in the third week in the second month, I do another 6. Those ones are getting rejected, but I resubmit the 24 from month 1 in month 2 on the 20th. Why the 20th? My boy's birthday's on the 20th. It's easy to remember. They cough up houses when? The end of the month, end of the fiscal quarter, end of the year. Yes, fiscal year. I use the 20th. I resubmit the 20th of every month. What happens is my competitors fall away as I'm doing this because I resubmit the offer, resubmit the offer, resubmit the offer, and what happens in month 4 and beyond, offers start getting accepted to the tune of 5 to 7 properties a month. I got 0 marketing cost. I got 0 research time. How many folks would like to make your realtor so much money that they become a private lender?
That'd be good.
That's what happens here because I made my, who pays the realtor? Seller, right, exactly. Not a dime comes out of my pocket. He does all the research. All I do is ride around and make offers. Yeah.
Do you change your offers at all? Or
Yeah.
You do?
What I do is if they come down a little, I come up a little. I go up slow and low.
Yeah.
All right. What I have done is especially when the house got a hole in the roof, is they keep refusing me and they don't budge. I drop the offer and sometimes they take it. I don't know why. I mean, it's happened more than once. It's just like really weird.
It's fear.
Yeah, like you're going to go away or drop it again, right?
You're gonna leave.
Yeah. Here's the key. To do this system, which every single one of you could do this if you're doing houses, could start next week. If you do this system, the key is you got to have private money or you don't have the guts to go do it.
Right.
Because if all 24 offers come through in a month, I can have a party. If 24 offers, if you don't have private money, and if they come through, you puke. I mean, because, you don't have, you got to fund the deal, right? Scares you to death, okay?
Yeah.
Think you're afraid of making phone calls, have that happen to you, right? All right. What I do is I have certain areas I don't want to buy in. So I drove the city and I found the yellow areas up there that I highlighted in yellow are areas I don't want to go into. Why is that important? Because I have a little system to when somebody calls me up, I can look at the map and if they say, okay, we're at 5000 Main Street, I can go to the map and see how far outside the yellow that is. Or if it's 123 Main Street and it's right in the dead center of that yellow, I know I'm not even going to bother. Do you think that saves me a lot of trucking around town time?
Yes.
Big time, right? How many folks like that little system? That's a nice little system, isn't it? Oh, checklist. Checklist. This is a standard format of my checklist. I got 19 of these. I have a heading, I have the item, I have who's responsible, and I have a place here for comments or a date. Now this is sign the purchase and sale agreement, do a title search, notify the lender, the private lender, order the appraisal, set up a closing date. At closing, here, pick up insurance binder, pick up money order, get keys, hang lockbox. Oh, how about signs? Better include my signs, right? All right, take picture for the website. Now, I got what, 8? I got 8 steps. If I went around this room and ask you for the number of steps in buying a property, some of you are going to say, well, 17, 16, something like that. Yeah? Okay? What's going to blow you away is the fact that if you miss one of these steps, you have created chaos. What's going to blow you away is there's so many steps in buying a property, there's a high likelihood, unless you got a photographic memory, you can't remember them all. The reason you need this one checklist is there's 30 steps in buying a property. Everybody got it? And only one guy probably has it, okay? Everybody got it? 30 steps. Are you guys going to buy property? Then every one of you need a checklist on buying a property. And if you wonder why things are chaotic in your business, it's because you don't have these in place. And this is just one. This is just one. Let's talk about fixing a property. You can smell the cat urine in that picture.
Yeah. Everything else.
Any of you got properties like that? These are white, look like fake bricks, fake stone. They're white. And so what she did was she marked around every single one of them and then drew in the middle. See that?
Yeah.
And then she autographed it. Going up the stairs, she has Lisa. Lisa. What is that? That's from heavy drugs. I mean, there's no question about that, right? What happened was I opened up the door and that's what I saw. And we never had a problem. She was great. But she probably figured when she got her artwork done, man, can you imagine how long that took? She even had to get a chair or something to get up above the thing. Yeah, and it goes right on up the steps. Huh? She's a renter. Renter, month by month renter. Never had any problem with her. Everything was great. One day she didn't pay. I go over, I open up the front door, I took that picture. All right? What do? Just clean it up and go on. When I started out, I hired the least expensive folks I could find to fix stuff like that. I hired individuals with a set of tools and a pickup truck. No company name, no reference, no verification. They could get the job done. Today I got a great pool of skilled and dependable contractors. You want licensed electricians, licensed plumber, roofer, and landscaper, cleaning person, and general contractor. When I started out with a rusty pickup truck, folks, and when I talked to them, I said, what's your skills? And they said, well, I can do everything. If somebody says that they're a contractor and they can do everything, you need to run.
Yeah.
You need to book it, okay? You need to head on out the door and get away. Don't hire them, okay? I mean, so there's three levels to me of contractors. There's the most skilled, and they're probably in the yellow pages, okay? Those are the most skilled. There's the least skilled, which is the ones I started out with, the rusty pickup truck. There's a level in the middle that don't have the yellow pages, they don't have the money to do that, but they're good folks, good workers, and they're licensed, and that's the level that I use. So, here is going through a house where I can do different itemized items, and I can blow through a house in less than 10 minutes. What I did was I went through and put down different repair cost out there. You want to see what my rehab stuff looks like when I'm done?
Sure.
Yeah? This house here was a free house. How many folks are into free houses? This thing here is free. What happened was the parents lived over this pickup truck, and they built this for their daughter. And I told you today, they got married, had divorced, moved out. Parents are paying how many house payments? 2. They tried everything to get this place sold, and for a year, and then they gave up and gave it to me. This thing didn't cost a penny. Zippo. All I had to do is start making house payments. How many folks like free? How many folks like to have that house for free? Yeah. I borrowed a small amount of money, like we were talking about earlier on private money. I put $5,000 on this house, and here's where the money went. Nice. See, I painted the sky blue. Shutters, stretch the carpet, a little bit of landscaping. Can you see what else I did? Huh? Yeah. I'm going to back this up. Here's why there's a fence there. See that ugly tank?
Yeah, tank.
That white fence better?
Yeah.
A lot better, isn't it? Yeah, nothing to it. Stick that up, you're good to go. Ugly houses in Springfield, yes?
Yeah.
Watch the door and the shutter on the window. Better? Sided it? This property has good cabinets. Those things are solid, but it's dark.
Yeah.
And it's dated. What I did was I put new hardware on this and paint them out and brighten the kitchen up. I want to have a bright kitchen. Better?
A lot better.
A lot better? Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And that's a plastic case I was talking about where I have staging information. Everybody see that? What do you do with an ugly kitchen? Put in a new kitchen, yes? Gooseneck faucet, I do mini blinds to hide the ugly neighbors. Do a chandelier, 6-panel leaded glass door. Dollar table, dollar vase, dollar plastic flowers. Dollar, dollar, dollar. Everybody got it? Okay. My back is right at the front door, but that's as far as my staging goes. All right. Different house. Same table, same vase, same flowers, dollar, dollar, dollar. I move them around, okay? I sanded the floor there. How many folks can see the mirror? When you see the mirror, raise your hand. Not quite everybody. It's only got one oven.
Yeah.
Everybody got it?
Yeah.
My back is right against the door going into the living room. But doesn't it make the place look a lot bigger?
It does, yeah.
Makes a big difference. Let's talk about selling. I love this. This is something you can do instantly. You're going to love this. Here's what happened. When I started out, and I was going to rent a place or sell a place, or land contract a place, what happened was I had to figure out how to handle the paperwork. So what I did was I'd pull out my file drawer and I made different ones for each piece of paper. And then I would go through and I'd have to pull each one of those out if we're going to sit down and do a closing. And I thought, well, that's a little cumbersome. Maybe I'll make it easier. I'll put it up here on the wall and do those pigeonholes. I'd go out and buy these shoe boxes that have these pigeonholes in them and stick the paper in each one and name them. And then I could go through and stand there and pull them out. Well, that wasn't much different than the desk. So then I thought, well, I'm going to put them on my computer and hit a file, and then I'll print them out each time. Well, the problem with that is if you're sitting there with your potential tenant looking across the top of your computer and you're getting ready to print these out and the computer's out of paper or out of ink, it's no fun. So what I decided to do is this. I decided to make up packets ahead of time. This is Tammy. In fact, Donna and I was talking about Tammy. She's not with us. She's moved out to New Mexico, but she was awesome. We loved her. Manila envelope, black felt pen, top left-hand corner. Inside that envelope is everything I need to lease option a house. We make 10 up. When it gets to 5, it triggers me to go back and make 10 more. All we have to do in this case is pull out a file drawer, pick up this copy, lay it down on the desk, and we are ready to close on a house. Put a tenant in or whatever we got to do. How many folks like that little system? That will save you a ton. And now let's talk about the master. And the master, if you take a yellow felt pen and you write master on the front of it, you can put it on the copy machine. You know this, don't you? You put it on, it doesn't copy, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I had to learn that. Once I learned that, I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard. Okay? So what happens is you never lose your masters because you aren't going to stick them in here and put a renter in and write all over the master, right? So you got them right there. You like this, don't you? Isn't this a beautiful system? For those of you that have tenants, or someday you're going to have tenants, remember this system because it is so sweet. It is so sweet, and it's just one little system of the many systems you got to put into place. Here's another checklist. This is on renting a property. That's not the whole checklist. Just like the one to buy a property I showed you up here had 8 steps, and there's 30. This here is just a partial. There's 24 steps on renting a property. Who would have thought? Yeah.
Did you create all your checklists?
Yes.
How long did it take you to make?
A lifetime.
Okay.
Okay? I'm glad you asked that. Here's what happened. I'll tell you, I should have told you this before. Here's what happened. When I got started, I didn't want to do this. I wanted to fix my company, but I didn't want to sit there and write all this stuff. Yes? Mm-hmm. So what I did was I had a lady that had worked for me in corporate America, and she got married, and she wanted part-time work. Okay? And so I took all this information and went out and gave it to her. I did some recordings so she could, follow along and things like that, so I didn't have to write everything down. And she started creating my policies, procedures, my checklist. All right? She got pregnant. She gave me all my stuff back. So then I found Michael. Michael is a very detailed anal guy, nicest guy you ever want to meet. He is a great starter and a horrible finisher. I went over to his house one day and he had all my stuff on his table and he's working away, and a few weeks later, quit. He got a girlfriend. That's when things stopped. Bought a desk, bought a computer, bought a chair, had Lois come in, sit in the office and do these. Lois was amazing. Lois really, really got through a lot of stuff, okay? And what happened was, She got sick. And I had to finish it. That's how they got done. That's how they got done. For me to get through the E-Myth program, I had to get this stuff finished. And so I had to finish it myself. And I didn't want to do that because it's a lot of work. How long? I was with E-Myth how long? 5 years. If you want to spend 5 years of your life, you can have the same results.
We tried to implement in the big office. Don't have your employees do it because they think you're replacing them.
Yeah. But imagine, look at the steps if you're renting a property. That's crazy. Who would have thought? How many landlords do I have in here? Better than half the room. Yeah. Types of deals, we do lease option land contracts, retail, wholesale. We have a meeting on Monday at 2 o'clock and we go over the reports that we've created. It'd be Donna and myself and the acquisitions manager. Think about the average profit on a deal. Let's say it's $25,000. Just average profit on one deal. All right? Take a minute and imagine someone instantly doing 23 deals for you like I had him do for me in 3 months because I had a system. He could go do that. Wouldn't have had a prayer if I didn't have a buying system. But I had a buying system and he did 23, the acquisition manager. That's exactly what my acquisition manager did when I hired him. I had all this money piled up. I couldn't get it spent. And so he went out and spent my money and bought 23 properties in the process. But the reason he was able to do the 23 is because I had a system set up. I had that realtor system I showed you earlier. That's the one that did it. But I already had the pipeline filled. You got it? Okay. I had system been long before I knew I needed to hire him, but he did another 69 after that in the next 8 months. Right on that one. You see, I was postured for success before I hired him. And shouldn't that be the way you're at? Shouldn't you be postured for success? If you aren't working on your business and doing things like checklists and policy and procedures, then you aren't postured for success yet. You might be successful, but you're eroding your checks, eroding your bottom line because you have chaos in your business. Let's say you do 5 deals this year, that's $125,000, and you get to keep more of the money because you've taken chaos out of your business. That's my point. Isn't it time you have the following 2 system tools, whether you're an experienced real estate investor or not? This is on selling a property. That's only one of what I believe to be 2.5 to 3 pages. That's only partial. That's only part of the page. There's a lot of steps, isn't there? This is on a lease option. That's only, there's another half page on that. Pretty simple though when you look at it, yes? Yes. But if you don't, you're doing this stuff whether you got it written down or not. Everybody got it?
Yeah. Maybe not in that order though.
Maybe not in that order, but if you get them out of order,
yeah,
you could cause more problems for yourself.
Right.
Frankly, people get into real estate to get rich. That's everybody in this room, myself included. And we end up with a whole set of new problems to solve before you can get free of the business. The systems are the key to this freedom. To help you remove chaos, I've created the Real Estate Management Made Easy. I want to take a couple minutes talking about this. This is 6 manuals, a ton of audios, and Form CD. What I did was I took what the E-Myth had taught me and what I'd done in my business to streamline it, and I made a laser beam approach on how you could go out and implement this by creating this home study system. It's the entire scope of running a real estate business from A to Z. You get 6 manuals, an acquisitions manual, acquisitions and sales, policy and procedures, which is the pot of gold right there, and the office management system, which is Donna's job, sales associate, an employee handbook, and then your book, the President's Manual. Let's talk about those. Donna's brought me some up here. Let me pull them out. And let's go through these things. Hang on. I got to get down to number 1. That's us. Here it is. This us. This is our President's book. You remember those PowerPoint slides that I showed you? The 85? I got a CD-ROM of that in here, okay? Remember the hiring employees where I had how I hired people and then I have them back for the longer meeting? In the longer meeting, I have a 4-page form that I use. 3 of them have questions. And the last one is a rating system. And so I've got that in here. So these are the forms that you get with the President's Manual. You can see there's 5 forms that come with this. This is the one with the orientation. I'm going to show you that. This is the forms for the President. The other ones are audios. These are 3 audios of me telling you on our job and on implementing systems what I did. And then I got a 71-page book on this. Now, one of the things I wanted to make sure that I told you on this thing is, I want to show you that real quick. This is a flow chart. I flow charted my business. Everybody see that? For each step of the way. Each one of those boxes, you got to have a process. Because each one of those boxes is the gap that Gerber was talking about, that if you don't fill this gap, you have chaos in your business. On these 3 audios up here, what I'm doing right now is I have transcribed the 3 audios in here, and I'm editing them. I edited them on the trip to California, edited them when I was coming here, I'll be editing them on the way back. On those audios, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the transcript for the 3 audios and add it to the manual. That way you can get the meat of the stuff rather than having to listen to the whole audio and say, oh, I heard that, where did I hear that? You're going to get it right here. So I'm going to add the audios here. I want to add the audios in Donna's book and the acquisitions book. Everybody got it? The 6 book, it's awesome. And the other thing I'm going to do is on the audios is I'm going to go through and have Rich Hoffer, the guy that does my sound, I'm going to have him go on in, and if there's any scrubbing that I want to do on these that weren't done the first time, I'll clean them up. And then folks in here that already have it, I'm going to give you a set of everything, okay? So you get the upgrade. I give away free upgrades, right? For life, my life. I'll give you free upgrades. But this is the President's book. And there's the flow chart that I created. There's a lot of different steps in here. There's more than that. I just showed you 2 of like 5 pages. Hiring employees. When you do that, you got the checklist for that. It'll make your job easier. I'm also including the unique 3-page job candidate questionnaire I talked about, like what would motivate you to leave a job. Carefully crafted questionnaire makes you shows you exactly how each employee ticks. I have a procedure on hiring folks. So what I gave you in here verbally, I've got a procedure on that. You see that? That's the first procedure of mine you've seen. We'll go through these. There's the questionnaire. Considering the jobs you've held, how would you evaluate your performance in each? Let them talk. Yes? No, what it does is it gets inside their head and helps you figure out what makes them work and tick and good. And there's the questionnaire at the end. And what I do is I rate them based on, that's like half the categories I rate them on. And what I found is every single time the person that gets the highest rating is the one I hire. So I got a system set up on how to hire rather than just winging it or getting a gut feel. This is a letter that we send them back and tell them whether they're in or out in this case. How about an application? Do you all have an application? 40% or 60% of this room is going to have employees. You all got applications for them? If you don't, you need them, right? And there's certain things you got to have on here legally, like right there. And you got to make sure they sign it. Donna's very good about people making sure that they sign things like that. She's very on top of it. How about a non-disclosure statement for people and non-compete? How many folks think you need a non-compete? Non-disclosure if you hire somebody. Yes? Use mine. Use mine. I already got it in there. What do you think it'd cost you to make a non-disclosure non-compete through an attorney? 1,000, 2? Okay, just that one document is worth that, your savings. You get it in my system. How about that orientation slide that I showed you? Or I talked to you about that I haven't shown you yet. You want to see a few slides of that?
Sure.
Okay. I want you to notice I'm not touching the clicker. think this is faster than what they see because you aren't here for a job, okay? I'm just clipping right along with this. But it's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got 85. This is the stuff you got to tell your employees. I only got a handful of slides. I got 85 slides like this. And they can don't you want them to hit the ground running when they hire in? That's why I created this. No music allowed, no food. Because of past employees playing music that other people didn't like and all kinds of stuff. That's it. You like it? Most folks clap, but hey, I mean, I want you to think about that for your employee. Wouldn't if you were an employee, wouldn't you want to run through something like that? Slower, but yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, if you have no food in the office, how do they do it?
We're in a strip mall.
Okay, so they can go out.
They go out. So, you might want to outsource, maybe a VA, virtual assistant. Okay, I've had 9 at one time, and in fact, Gary and I are working on him helping me get a new one. Yeah, actually, he's got somebody. He'll talk about that later. You've got it already done, and you can just hand it off, and they just follow whatever you want them to do. Okay. How about the procedure manual? Let's take a look at that. This is number 6. This thing is heavy. This thing is. Let me get the right pages. 346. I didn't want to give you the wrong one. 346 pages. How many folks in here would like to write 346 pages?
No.
Would you like to write for your business?
No thanks.
I see you. You're toying with me, man. There's 2 CDs. The CDs are all these, so that you can change them. Take my name out, put your name in. Phone numbers, like on Bandit Signs, I'd have the phone number for Bandit Signs if you want to buy from somebody else, okay? You could have a procedure about signs for the back of your car, or magnets. Put her phone number down, okay? But this procedure book, this is the pot of gold. This is what folks want to get their hands on because nobody wants to create it. Nobody wants to create it. Let me show you the way that the procedure manual for one procedure, how it's laid out. It shows a flow chart. It shows benchmarks, which is the detail of this. If you want to quantify that, you can do that. I don't have a lot of that, but I do have attachments. I'm going to show you one of mine. This is the benchmark steps. Like this is Bandit Signs, this is Jackie, there's a phone number, and this is information on that. I didn't show you the checklist, which is in front of that. This is, at the end now, I have pictures of how I want sign placement. Do you think that's important to the employees? We typically do 5 signs. One is a We Buy Houses sign, and the rest are house for sale. We try to make it a party. We want people to hit their brake when they go buy the house. All right? You think that's important? To show them how you want your signs? To look when you order them so they don't screw up and order pink, or maybe they would put the area code on there, but you don't need the area code on there, or maybe you do, right? Here's the table of contents. This is general duties, like when we clean the office and filing and time cards and virus protection and all that. Here's collection and rent management. Here's a section on that. Here's bookkeeping. All bookkeeping, annual, down at the bottom there, annual 1099s, 1098s. How do we handle them? It's already done in the book and how to do it. Here's how we buy. Here's the flyers we use, the signs we use, the internet. Here's how we sell. There's a lot of meat there, wasn't there? A lot of stuff. Let's get into the acquisitions. Acquisitions and sales. This is this right here, book number 2. What I did with my employees is I said I wanted to create professionally done audios. And so we're going to have a recording session. So what I did with the person that was doing the acquisitions for me, we sat down and we recorded it. These are the ones I'm editing right now. right now, and they are incredible. Some of the meat we got into on this, they are really, really great. And so I've got the 4 audios right there, and then I got a form CD. Everybody see that? That's all the forms that he needs for his job. And this system here, I think it's 124 pages. 124 pages. Easy to read, tons of information. Shows checklists. This is what we use to go inspect properties. It's a property evaluation sheet that I told you when I go through and I can do it in less than 10 minutes. That's a sheet I use. And so just a ton. There's our email, our Yellow Pages ad. Here's the slides on a checklist. This is the one on buying a property. I've already showed you this page. Everybody remember? So I can get everybody calibrated on buying a property. I said there's 30 steps. That's page 2. That's page 3. Now, how many of those are you going to get right in order? And I've also got a place in there for phone numbers. See the phone numbers up there? I put the phone numbers right in the checklist so that they don't have to go anyplace else other than right there's a number. Boom, I got to call that number right now to get the electric on. On that checklist, there's 30 steps. If you miss one, you create chaos. Might be minor, might be huge. 19 checklists that are required to run your business, because that's how many I got. How many wish you already had them? Make your life easier. Here's what they look like. Let's take a look at the checklist. Here's what 19 checklists look like.
Do you have printed copies for each property that you follow, or do you just, like, do all your employees, is there a place they can go grab the checklist, make sure everything's done for each property?
Yeah, what I'm going to recommend to you on implementing this system is that you have your checklist in 3 different places. You ought to have your master on your computer. You ought to print some out that are on a 3-ring binder on your desk. Okay, all of them. Okay, because if you want to take them and go sit on the couch and work them, or go take them in the to Starbucks and go through them, okay, do that. And then you have another file where your live checklists are at that you're using. So I'd have in 3 places. All right. Did you guys get an impression there's a lot of work on doing 19 checklists? Okay. So each one of those are throughout this system, and you need each one of those because you run a real estate business. Oh, there's the last one. There's another one. Oh, okay, I got them all. How about Donna? Let's talk about Donna. Here again, 4 audios. There's her 4 audios. I've got one of those transcribed already and edited. I've got to work on the other 3. Here's the forms for Donna. I'm going to show you that. She has the most forms. She has 80-some forms on this form CD. See, this is, you guys think about going out and doing a franchise? That's what this is. This is a franchise. This is a franchise in a box.
Do you let the employee listen to the CDs?
They're training. Part of it, these CDs right here are for your training on what I'm doing, okay, obviously. But if I get a new employee, one of the rules is I have them listen to the audios. All right? So that way they can hear from the person doing the job, okay? So if I hired an acquisitions manager, I'd have them listen to those audios. If I hire somebody for Donna's job, I'd have them listen to these audios as part of the job. So in this case here, look at the checklist. Here's a checklist on lease option. There's one on renting. Here's a rent increase form. What we do is on the tenants, we bubble up who's due for a rent increase. So if somebody we just put into a property, we'd have them down here at the bottom. But as time goes on, more people come in, or more renters come in below that, and they'd start bubbling up. And so every month we make a decision if we want to raise the rent on the one at the top. Okay? You guys ought to have that too. Okay? A ton of information in Donna's book. Let's look at it a little bit. There's some of the files. That is just a small portion of her files that's sitting on that form CD in there. Property checklist for a sales meeting, sample disdainer, 10-day or 3-day notice, a 10-day notice. What's the difference? Well, 3 days for the rent, 10 days for land contracts. If they got a land contract, we have to do a 10-day notice. So she's got that. Those packets that I had Tammy up there doing, you've got all those and everything that goes in the packet. All right, it's all done for you. Just click on the file box, and there they are. Print them out. There's Tammy again. Oh, and we even have a little checklist on the front of the packet. Aside from I'm not counting that as one of the 19. That's just another little checklist. All right. Yeah. Donna, can I bother you for a minute and have you grab a mic? Come on down. I want to have Donna. I'm going to have Donna talk about her first day on the job. You want to know about Donna's first day on the job?
Sure.
It's kind of embarrassing for me. But I'll let her share.
Well, like he told you, I interviewed that exactly that way, and I almost walked out because I thought, man, I want to own a timeshare. So, but I stayed and went through the process, and 10 years later, here I stand. He started me on a Tuesday. I came in at 10 a.m. like he said. I remember I initially told you I hired in for a shipping job, and I didn't tell you that. I initially hired in for a shipping job, and by the time I got around to getting into work, he had put me into a different job. So I was a rental admin, and hired in on Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon, he comes in. Well, let me start back up a little bit. I did go through those slides. They were very helpful. I did go through the Prove It. That was very helpful as well. So he gave me the employee handbook, the admin manual, and the procedures manual on my first day of work. And with a military background, you don't do anything without a checklist. So it's ingrained in me to use a checklist for everything I do.
That fit my business.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sliding into this job was a dream. Okay. Tuesday afternoon, he comes into the office and he says, "See you later. Going to boot camp, taking everybody but you." My first day on the job, I was like, holy cow, what am I going to do? I'm like, should I come in tomorrow? What should I do? And is this the job for me? And I kicked it around, and I came in the next day, and the phone started ringing and everything, and I pulled out my admin book, and I pulled out my employee handbook, my procedures, and I was able to make it. And if it had not been for this system that he's telling you about right now, I wouldn't be standing here, because I would have lost it. So that was my first day on the job.
Here, don't leave me. I'm gonna let you take that back. But I'm tickled she's here. She's been awesome. She's just great. She's brilliant. No, not yet. And then, and I'm glad I had checklists and procedures because Donna's still here. And being military, she knew the importance. Gary, I wasn't going to say anything. I didn't talk to you about this, but can you give him the mic? Where'd the mic go? Can you give that to Gary? Is it still on? Let's talk about your wife, man. Let's talk about your wife.
So,
You're
I
good.
was sitting in the back of the room at one of the boot camps. We went to like 4 of the boot camps like in a row. And the first couple of boot camps, I actually came by myself, and finally got my wife to come to one of the boot camps. And she kind of sat back in the other room, and she was like, Alan was going through some systems and so forth of how he does it. She kept hitting me. She goes, "We need that. We need that." She kept hitting me. I had like a bruise on the side of my leg. And I was like, "No, I got plenty of systems. I've been doing this for a long time. I've ran my own business for like 10 years plus. I'm good." She goes, "No, we need these systems." And it took me a while to kind of realize, but we went ahead and actually purchased the systems. Well, she purchased it, okay? Because I thought I had the best system in the world because it was mine, right? I knew where everything was in my room, in my desk. I knew exactly where it was. If somebody else is there and messed it up, okay? Just because there was a stack of pile doesn't mean I didn't know what it was. But it wasn't until she actually started implementing Alan's systems in our office with like the files and so forth, of the different colors, it actually started clicking to me that, wow, this is actually a little bit better system than mine. Just a little.
A little.
Just a But it changed the way we actually ran our business significantly. And that was one of the, I believe that was probably one of the main reasons that I was able to get out of rat race within a year and a half of running Allen's systems with not only the private money, but in the office. Because, I look back and it wasn't chaotic. Because I'm the only one in the entire world that knew what was in my office. And as we were trying to grow and hire people, like they would come in and they're like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Well, yeah, in my head, I knew what I was talking about, but she didn't know what I was talking about. Neither did the other employees. And so she finally convinced me that this was the best thing in the world. Not only did we implement it in our real estate business, but the other businesses that she started up. So.
Yeah, that's an important point. Don't miss that last part. He's got another business, his wife does, all right? And she uses my system in that business to create systems. Everybody got it? All right?
And it's helped tremendously in both businesses. I mean, we were able to jumpstart the other business because of the systems we already had in place, the policies and procedures and so forth.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Let's go to the sales associate. This job, what I had was I had 31 empty properties.
Go back. See,
Oh, I lost something. 31 empty properties. And right after I got done with 31 empty properties and got that problem solved, I wrote this book. Why? Because she didn't have the wherewithal to get the properties done. What I did was, which I love in this book, is I created a flow chart. I got a table of contents, but I got a flow chart. I got a flow chart of selling properties right there. Each chapter in here is one of these boxes. Everybody got that? So each box is a chapter on how to sell a property. So what I've got here is I didn't want to have a problem like I had with her, and so this has been marvelous. So what I do with this is when I get a sales associate is I hand them this, and this is their Bible. This is how they handle their job, okay? The other thing too is there's one form CD. It's the whole book. Because if there's something in here that I put in that I like to do that you've got a different way, you can fix it. You can fix it in the book, okay? Now, let's take the employee book. This is the one that every employee deserves if you got an employee. And 60% of this room is going to have employees. You deserve to give an employee handbook. You can either make it yourself or you can get mine today. On this thing here, I'll get to that next slide. On this one here, there's two forms, CDs. One is on like they're going to turn in their expense accounts, and the others is on policy procedures. But this thing here is invaluable for the employees. If you go to the table of contents, look at the different things that I give them on how to do their job and tools they need if they do their job. So I got one-stop shopping on this by going to this thing. So vacation time, holiday pay. I put the benefits right up front. I put about safety and security. You think safety and security is important for employees?
Yes.
Right there it is. I got a company. And then the company policy and procedures that relate to them, and then orientation, things on that. Look at the volume of files. 233 files, 9 CDs. A lot of times you buy a home study system, I got 6 CDs, yes? Got 9. Got 9 in this. Look at the numbers. Procedure 76, acquisition 57, presidents 12, employees 7, admin Donna 80, like I said. Sales associate 1 for the whole book. 11 audios. Those 11 audios that I'm going through and have transcriptions on, and I'm editing those, and I'm going to add those 11 transcriptions back into these books so that people can get more out of this system. 6 manuals, 11 audios, and 9 form CDs. It has all my checklists and forms. It has my staff and I explaining how we did our job. That's the other thing. I interviewed my staff. On those audios, one of them is just me in the President's book, but the other one is me interviewing my staff on how they do their job. So you not only hear me interact with the employee, but you hear them going into detail on how they do the job. And it's really a plus. More importantly, it has all my policy and procedures and give you a step-by-step process on there. You get every one of my systems and every one of the checklists, so you can simply plug them into your business and get similar results instantly. If you can use a checklist, you can use my system. Just think of the benefits. How many folks like this? You guys good with this? Can you see why there's a step in this business that you need to take to reach the next level? Yeah? And you might not like it. It's the ugly part of the business, but it's necessary. If you don't take that step, then you're going to be living in chaos just like you are right now. And you might not recognize it, but if you stop and think about what I've taught you today about getting there without the signs and stuff like that, you think it's just part of your day. Well, it's really part of the chaos in your business. What would you have to pay? Well, if you go to eMyth, it's $9,666 a year. It's probably more than that now. That's when I took it. I was in it for 5 years. Or you could buy the franchise. This is a franchise in a box. Franchise in a box. You can buy I could franchise this, but I really don't want to go through that. I like what I do. So I like making a home study system, making people happy and letting them use the system. $2,497, that's what it is on the website. It's a steal at that. It's a steal. Can you think about the work and the time in my life that I put into this? And what I did with these systems, these 6 books and the audios and the form CD, is I tailored them to work in your business. So, 2,400, what would you would eat that up in you trying to do just one book. And I'm not talking policy and procedure book. Just the admin of your time. How much is your time worth in an hour? It's worth something, right? If you're able to close one more deal, you'll have a huge return on investment just from that one deal, yes or yes, because this has enabled you, because of the checklist, enabled you to do more deals. Just one more in a year would pay for this many, many, many times over. The system pays for this several times over in the very first month. You can hit the ground running with this system. You can start using this system as soon as you get home. That's how easy it is to use and how you can go in and apply it. You just take the checklist out, do what I explained to you, having the 3 sets on just the checklist alone, use them and not worry about the other stuff for a while, and just look how the workload flows and how your life gets better. Just the checklist. It makes a dramatic difference in your life. Who invests in a system? That might surprise you. Airplane pilots.
Yeah.
Airplane pilots that come to if I got any airplane pilots in here, they're the first one, they run to the back table and get this. I'm telling you. Accountants. If I got any accountants in here, they run to the back table. Normally the pilots beat them. Okay? They go to the back table. They go back table and they get the system because they understand the power of the checklist. Or national speaker. The first one of these that I sold at the $24.97, first one I sold was a national speaker out of Florida. First one I sold. Now, why would a national speaker do that? Because he's desperate for systems, just like the rest of the folks that haven't implemented these things. People recognize the mass amount of work, the focus, and the effort to create a business system. When I was in corporate America implementing those systems, I did a train the trainer for 200 employees. And they went out and they trained the other 2,000 employees. Okay? And we came back and we had where I got the format for the checklist was through them. Okay? So people investing in a franchise in a box. Quickest way to path to success. That's why people get franchises, right? That's why McDonald's is so successful, because it's a franchise, because they've got systems. If you go through the movie that was out here last year about McDonald's, you would see that that's where the heart of it was. You've seen it? Yeah, it's about systems. Yeah, exactly. Real estate management made easy system is as close to a plug-and-play system that you're going to find. Frankly, when I think about what so many real estate investors are truly looking for to help them with their real estate business, I realize that this system is the answer to their question. This system could be a franchise if I decide to do that. I don't think I want to go through the work. I like doing what I'm doing right now. This is fun for me. It took me 5 years of my life and an investment of $48,330 to get this system, not to get my business taken care of, and then I came back and took what I got in my business and created a home study system. If you're willing to invest that much time to clean up your business, that's a lot more than $24.97, yes? You can start with this system Monday. You can start with this system Monday. You don't have to wait 5 years like I did. You could either stop everything that you're doing and create checklists yourself. If you just create the checklist, you've spent more time and your time's worth money than what you pay for this whole system. Everybody got it? Or you can hire somebody to do it, but I hired 3 people and I still had to do it myself. Or you can get your hands on mine today and take the pain out of your business, starting one or two. Frankly, number 1 and number 2, there's going to cost you dearly in time, effort, and money. Wouldn't it be wiser to take advantage of my efforts to invest in the wealth and knowledge that contained in the Real Estate Management Made Easy system? You know, time is money, like I said. I'm going to give you a bonus. I'm going to give you a bonus that if you get the system today, I'm going to give you the 13 hours of video of me doing the boot camp. Okay, the Financial Freedom Boot Camp, also the time in the office, and also the time in the field. All right, this $497 value, we call it a day in the office. Actually, it's more than one day. I mean, but it's a day in the office, and what it is, it'll give you constant training when you get home. Then what they do with franchises, that they give you not only the forms and the system and the manuals and the audios, but they also give you videos. That's why I call it a franchise in a box, because you got the videos too. So bonus number 1 is me teaching you live, you know, from stage on those. So now I say it's the only first one. I want you to get this today. I want you to get it today. I want you to make a decision today, and I want you to go back to Donna and get it. So everybody that gets it before we close the doors and lock the doors tonight gets this $497 bonus. Everybody hear that? So I want you to get it today. So you got the Real Estate Management Made Easy system, which is $2,497, and bonus number 1 is the Video Systems Library, which is $497. Adds up to $2,994. Donathan, this guy is one of the greatest guys you ever want to meet. He is a landlord, and here's what he said about this system. He said, if you want an excellent return on your investment, get Alan's office system. It will keep you from becoming a frustrated, burnout investor like most get-rich-quick seminar students turn into. This commitment is from a seasoned investor of over 30 years in the trenches of experience. Thank you, Alan, and may God continue to bless you. Donna got up at this boot camp on a mic, because he got this system, and he got up and told everybody in the room that, for them to go get it. This is a 30-year landlord talking about my system, how he wished he'd had it when he started, and he owned it after 30 years. Don't you think you beginners in here, which is about 40% of the room, ought to get your hands on it? If it's good for a 30-year landlord, it's good for you too, right? Shouldn't you start out easier, faster, and better than Donathan did? That's why he got up and talked about that. How I buy. Bonus number 2. This is where I buy and sell. You're going to get that too. That's bonus number 2. You already know about that because we talked about it before. 1 hour hotline with Donna. You get Donna for an hour. And you can talk about whatever you want, but what I think you'd talk about is probably QuickBooks and things like that. Cover filing, whatever you want. Do I want to give up Donna? No, I'd rather have her get people into boot camps and, you know, and ship product and things like that she does. But it costs me money. But I want you to use Donna and have her help you out. I want you to win. Okay, so I'm including Donna in this. That again is limited to everybody that gets it now. I want people that are serious about this, know that they need this in their business, are ashamed maybe you don't have it, and I want you to head to the back table and get it. Okay, because you need it. How about chart of accounts? We talked about this. In fact, Donna gave me a copy up here. This is the chart of accounts manual and the video that Donna did and the audio of my accounting person. And so this chart of accounts you take right here, you watch the video, you take it and you upload it into your QuickBooks. This thing here you get as one of the bonuses. This is a $300 system. It's $297, bonus number 4. So you got your Real Estate Management Made Easy system, $2,497, bonus 1. The video library, bonus 2 is the buys and sells. Donna for an hour. In fact, I'm not going to keep track of the time. So you can go longer. Everybody got it? You can go longer. So I just want you to get in there and work with Donna and get up on the system. And the chart of accounts. Adds up to what? What was that? $4,235. You get me for a year. Here again, you got to get it tonight if you want me. So what you're seeing here is on the bonuses, you got to get it tonight because I want you to get started with this thing and I want you to get it and get serious about implementing it. And if you just do the checklist, it'll pay for itself many times over, many times over. That's a $2,000 bonus right there because I charge $7,000 a day for coaching. And so you're going to take up time over the next year. That year starts any time. It doesn't start now. If you don't get ready for 4 months, that's fine. Then that'll start it from there. That's $6,235. And this is a bonus that I added last night. I have never, ever done this before. Donna and I was talking, and she says, we want to give these people more. And how about if we give them quick start training, where we do six quick start training for everybody that gets us. Now on this quick start, what that means is I've got 6 manuals, and we're going to spend a half hour to an hour on each one. We might go an hour and a half. I don't know yet because we've never done it before. Everybody hear that? So we're going to spend, and then what I'm going to do as we're doing this is I'm going to record each one. It's probably going to be, it might be like a webinar, but it's most likely going to be where we go out to a freeconferencecalling.com, and I can hit the record button, and we can talk. You can ask questions. I'll record it all, and then I'll send you a copy of the recording. So if you get the system and you don't make it, I'm still going to give you a recording. Everybody hear that? So everybody that gets the system tonight, okay, will get the recording of that. The way we're looking right now is Donna's going to do half and I'll do half. So Donna will do like her book, I'll do acquisitions book. Okay, so we'll break it down that way. And so she's got half. Now, her and I are arm wrestling right now on whether we do one a week or whether we do one every other week. Okay, so I won't tell you which way we're voting, okay, on between her and I, but one person's voting that way, one's the other. We've never done this, but we think it's important to you to help you get started and get out of the starting blocks. How many folks would like to have 6 hours of training with Donna and I after this event? Do you like that? Yeah? You know, anywhere from 3 to 6 hours on this, on going through this system, and we're going to teach you how to do it, what we did, and how to get up and going fast, and give you the insights on what to do. You know, isn't that the kind of hand-holding some people need to get out of the starting blocks on this? So we haven't done this before. We're tickled to do it, and but you got to get it tonight. You got to get it tonight. The value's kind of tough. I put $2,500 on that. Here again, you got to get it before you get out of here. So if you noticed on the bonuses, you got to get them, or you're just going to, starting tomorrow, you just get the system. Everybody hear that? Okay. That's $8,735. Can you see why $8,735 is an incredible, great price for you buy it for that? Okay, but the investment on the website is $2,497. Because you're set a special, I'm going to take $1,000 off the website price. So you got another bonus. It goes down to $1,497. So it's $2,497 on the website. You get it tonight. It's $1,497. Plus you get all those bonuses. You get $8,000 and, well, $6,000 bonuses. One of the best benefits will be peace of mind when you get this. It's a tremendous resource, always at your fingertips. It will allow you to easily grow your business, streamline your efforts to increase your efficiency, remove chaos from your business, give you your life back. That'll be important to some of you. Yeah. And give you a complete peace of mind. You got all my office management techniques, the buying and selling steps, the business profile, you make your business profitable, create your dream team, quickly generate leads for buying and selling, rehab insights, critical step-by-step checklist, and help take the chaos out of your business. Obviously, that's what it's all about. Compeller owner financing technique, land, trust, logic, and creation, deal structuring, what computer programs I use, hiring employees, file management, and all the tools that go along with that. My easy bill paying system, invoicing tenants, getting rent, deal successfully with contractors, evicting tenants, the pain-free way, and using fundamental logic and insider secrets, and how I got started in negotiating. Bottom line is every single one of these resources will help you improve your business, guaranteed. And I've got another bonus. Got a live event. I teach this boot camp and I teach one on the office. Yes? This thing is sold for $3,000 $995 over the years. Everybody that gets the real estate management made easy gets this for free. This is actually bonus 7. I didn't change that. I cover everything we talked about today: acquisitions and sales, office management, the liaison position, the policy and procedures, which is a heart of gold, powerful system, employee management and president's position. Here's the next one, is August 3rd through the 6th in Dayton, Ohio. Why Dayton? Because Alan doesn't have to fly. Okay, and my wife gets to see me every night. All right. So now listen to this. If some of you have an office, and you've got an office manager in the office, you can bring them with you. Now you have to come, but if you want to hang out with your office manager, I'll teach them, so you don't have to do it. And then they can also be on the 6 hours of, for 3 to 6 hours of audio training, or video, or audio training, live training, with us too, obviously. Okay, and so if you want to bring them, you can. And you can bring a family member and your office person if you want. You can return forever to that boot camp. Folks have actually cut checks for that, $2,995 to attend the event. It's worth every penny. Folks love my event. You guys having a good time at this event for the first day?
Yes.
Okay, this is what I do at the next one. I just teach my heart out on how to do systems, and how to create checklists, and how to change your life, and give you all the nuances and little things that make a difference in your business. I firmly believe this very well could be the most important decision you make for your real estate business. Make it risk-free. You got 7 days, check it out. It's not going to really take you that long. These don't come back. Once somebody gets these systems, they don't return them, because they know they need them. They got pain in their life, pain in their office. They know if they want to grow the business that they got to get some systems in. Some people buy them just for the checklist. Some people buy them just for the policies and procedures. Some people buy them just to get the training and the manuals and the audios, okay? There's just to get started, just the keys. But whatever it is, listen to the audios on the way out of here, and you'll love them. You'll love them. And you can keep all the bonuses. If you do decide to return this, you can keep all the bonuses. Why would I put that up there? Because I don't get returns. All right? All right? Except for the boot camp, you can if you return this, I'll let you keep all the other bonuses. All right, it's not fair for you to come to the boot camp if you return the tools. All right, and that's the tools. Option 1 is do nothing, work 24/7 to survive like you have been. Option 2 is stop everything and spend your time and effort and money and thousands of dollars to create these on your own. Or option 3, invest in my system and start using the checklist starting Monday. My system gives you the precise tools and success to use for a whole life. And I firmly believe this could be the most important decision you ever made. Think about what 20 systems would do for you. I showed you a handful today, right? You saw a handful. You saw Tammy in the packets, and you saw for the new employees that thing, and you saw my checklist. Okay, what would 20 systems be worth to you? 25,000, 100,000, quarter? I mean, I'm talking bottom line number. You're eroding your checks with what you're doing today if you got chaos, yes? All right? So how much would you have to pay to get 20 systems per quarter per month, This system will pay for itself many, many times over. And it's $11,730 if you add up all the bonuses you got. Just go to the back table like they are and go ahead and get started. I'm going to head back there too. If you got any questions, let's go back there and get started on this. So you guys are in it for $14.97. That is a steal. That is a steal. You sure don't want to do this yourself because of the time and effort it'll take you. You get mine. Come on back. Yes, sir.
So if you want to use them in your business, can you reuse the material?
Yes, sir. I want you to.
For your company?
Yep. That's what a lot of it's created for. Yep. I want you to do that. All right. You just can't sell it on me, buddy.
Okay.
All right. Come on back. Let's get it.
Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome. Start 8 o'clock tomorrow. But come on back right now. You stick that in there. I got to get that key. Oh.
Yeah. Will you make that note?